Russian troops attacked the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv with glide bombs and drones on Monday night, injuring at least 7 people, according to regional head administration Oleh Syniehubov. According to Associated Press, the attack struck a medical facility in the city. Over 50 patients who were there received acute stress reaction and have been transferred to another establishment after the incident, City Mayor Andrii Raikovych wrote on Telegram. The strike also damaged an educational facility, multiple civilian objects and power lines in the city, authorities said. In Kirovohrad region, Russia attacked critical infrastructure objects in Dolynske and Nova Praha communities, regional administration head Andrii Raikovych reported Tuesday morning. 5 settlements in the region were left without electricity, he said. Ukraine's Air Force recorded 82 Russian strike drones in the country's airspace overnight. They say air defenses intercepted and jammed 69 of the drones.
Готов? Готов?
Над местом чисто.
Стой, ты что, говоришь? Готов?
Над местом чисто.
Стой, ты что, гори?
Oil refineries and defense plants in Russia are prime targets for Ukrainian missiles and drones, but grain storage facilities are also of interest, according to Serhiy Krivonos, a Ukrainian Armed Forces general, former deputy commander of the Special Operations Forces and former deputy secretary of the Ukrainian Security Council. He stated that given Russia's poor harvest, such facilities must be attacked. You know, at this stage, the most important facilities are those that help forge weapons for the Russian Federation, specifically military facilities that serve as fuel and lubricant depots or warehouses for storing missile or aircraft munitions. Yes, factories that produce weapons and ammunition for these weapons, those are important facilities. Energy facilities that generate electricity to power these factories, those are more important facilities, Krivonos pointed out. He added that the situation could change in the near future, and the Kiev regime would have to respond quickly by changing its priorities. Considering that the Russians have begun systematically targeting our energy sector and, in part, grain storage facilities, I believe our adequate responses will be just around the corner. And given that the Russians have had a rather difficult harvest this year, this will also be quite sensitive for them, the general warned. It's worth noting that in recent weeks, various sources in Ukraine have named various targets in Russia that Kiev intends to focus on in the near future. In this context, in addition to oil refineries, Russian gas pipelines to China and defense industry enterprises have been mentioned. The mention of grain storage facilities as a potential target also fits perfectly with the logic of attacks by Ukrainian armed forces. Recall, Russian forces have attacked grain storage facilities and a food production plant in several regions in recent days in Ukraine. On the night of October the 4th, 2025, Russian drones shelled the Chernechchina Romoda, a local government area that includes one or more nearby settlements in the Sumy region, hitting a grain storage facility in what reports indicated was a deliberate strike. Then, on October the 7th, drones struck an agricultural enterprise in the Chernihiv region, resulting in the loss of supplies. Russians later struck a hummus production plant in the Kyiv region, forcing a halt in production. Reports of shelling on grain storage facilities, other food production or storage sites were also reported earlier this year, but such attacks were most frequent in the first 18 months of the full-scale war. At the time, Russians also burned hundreds of hectares of fields. Their goal was described as an attempt to provoke a food shortage. The negative consequences of these actions, of Russians not only for Ukraine but for the world, were documented by the UN. However, Russian representatives demonstratively left the organization's meeting hall when reminded of these facts. Experts have not yet weighed in immediately on the shelling in October 2025. For reference, Russians have not only destroyed thousands of tons of food in Ukraine, but have also stolen at least $1 billion worth of grain from occupied territories, according to expert estimates. Amid this news, Russian ruler Vladimir Putin claimed a record harvest in Russia.